Thank you very much. My name is DragonMetalQueen. Most people know me as DMQ. And today I have a commentating partner. Comic, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello there, my name's Kame Senin. Run a lot of games Buster only, so I guess that's probably why DMQ asked me to join in on this one because I might know one or two things about this one, but DMQ's honestly better at it than me, so this should be an interesting series of trip ups on my part.
Kame singing has always been referred to me as a sensei, not just for one of the games he taught me, but for overall stream things. So it's only, and he's really good at explaining things. So like it's only right for me to like choose him to partner up with me on commentator. So without further ado, shall I get to the character select screen?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
All right, so time starts on when I choose either X or 0. Of course, I'm going to be choosing X. So uh, on go, we will start. Three, two, one, go.
All right, and we are off. Loading that intro stage. I'm sorry, the first intro stage, because all the stages in this game are really two stages, with some very few exceptions here. But we're going to load in to intro Area 1 Sky Lagoon, and it's pretty much going to be nothing but holding the dash button, jumping, and occasionally shooting a few enemies. Like this is honestly most of this game is this right here. I mean, there's more to it than that. Don't let me oversimplify it on you, but literally you hold the dash button and jump, and you just retain that dash speed and keep on moving and go right through everything. So as long as you know where the enemies are going to be in your path, like that bulldozer there, DMQ just destroyed, you know where everything's going to be in your way. You just get it out of your way and just keep dash jumping right on through. And that's the basic idea of speedrunning. Honestly, any of the PS1 X games, X4, 5, or 6. And just like that, Area 1 is over. Like I could barely even talk about it, and it's already over. We're into intro stage 2, where we're actually going to have a boss fight at the end of this one. This one you get a little bit more complex movement, some more enemies popping up at you, a reason to jump on walls, you know. And DMQ is going to be employing a couple of fancy little maneuvers here that are going to go by way faster than I could explain. But even like just getting under that block there before it drops on you is tough sometimes. Um, but oh yeah, there we go. Jumped over the pit. There's a pit back there that has a one-up in it, but it also tries to crush you if you fall in. So naturally, you want to avoid that, and DMQ managed to do it just fine. But now we're coming up to the fight here. We got a Region coming in. I think that's the name, a Region, something like that. Big old dragon dude, super intimidating, major pushover. DMQ is just gonna lay waste with the green shots and hope that he doesn't take off. Now this is interesting. He actually flew in closer, so he's gonna go in for melee strikes. Now he took off, but it was quick. This was actually not a bad pattern, I gotta say. This was not a bad pattern at all. He
I
came
have to
in
agree.
he came in real close there, and he did take off, but he was already close to the screen. So when he takes off for flight like that, basically you're waiting until he gets off the screen before he'll drop back down. So him being so close that made that nice and quick. Here we go. Colonel getting upset with X now because that's what Colonel do. But no big deal. We'll deal with him later. We'll see plenty of Colonel in this run. No worries there. Interesting note while we have some text and some intro to the Mavericks is Colonel is fought twice in the X run as opposed to the Zero run where you only fight him the one time and you get this big glorious cutscene that everybody loves that's involved with it as well. But yeah, X has to fight him twice because reasons. So now we've got our 8 Mavs introduced. We're gonna go into Jet Stingray's stage. This is a bit of an auto scroller. You're on the ride chaser, and it's 2 areas. It's like every stage, it's 2 areas. The first area you're kind of on the ground. Second area you're in the water, which makes sense considering you're supposed to fight a stingray. Duh. But yeah, this section is literally just boosting through, shooting all the things, and even when you're boosting through here, you notice that little arc at the front of the bike there. It does damage. Like you're pretty safe just boosting, even if you don't shoot for the most part. But the real reason that we go to this stage first for Buster only usually is coming up right here. DMQ's grabbing that heart right there. And I believe DMQ is going to grab the sub tank in the second part of the stage as well. But yeah, everything's exploding here. Everything seems like it's a little overwhelming. At least for me, I am terrible at memory, so I can't memorize the layout of this stage. So I'm always panicking coming through here. But DMQ is just boosting through like a champ. No trouble whatsoever. All these explosions and things, they do minimal damage. You don't even have to worry about it, honestly. Um, so here in the second part of the stage, we're going to get the sub-tank, but we're also going to see Jet Stingray right there. There he is, and he's gone too. DMQ's just just going to boost right into him. He comes in and tries to basically bombard you with his little stingrays and try to deal a little extra damage to you and just generally be annoying. But he's not very good at it. One boost through him, and he goes away for a few seconds, and then he'll come back later like he is right now, trying to do things but failing. DMQ getting that sub-tank first try and across the whole stage. Excellent, excellent. And they're so kind. They give you the big health there. Like if you even need it, which you probably don't because everything does so little damage, but they give it to you. So you know that's real nice. The nicest thing about it is that it goes into your sub tank even if you use it. That's like my favorite thing about the PS1 portion of the X series is even if you need health and you grab health, some still goes in the sub tank. But here we have our boss, Jet Stingray here. He's just doing his Stingray thing back and forth. DMQ's going to stick to these walls for the most part and just keep charge shotting to destroy the Stingrays so that they don't build up at the bottom of the screen because of this attack right here, where you're kind of stuck to the bottom of the screen if you want to do damage to them. So yeah, it was automatically safer by default just by destroying those. And DMQ's real up close there, no issues whatsoever. This boss fight was super fast. I couldn't even talk about half of what he did. That was great. That was just great. Sometimes when he dives and comes back up the other side of the screen, you can shoot him then too. And I think DMQ was actually hitting those shots. I didn't even get to mention them. That was such a good fight.
I'm not going to cap. In the second half of the first area, I kind of took it safe.
Did you really?
Yeah, because normally I would keep boosting like I would have, but I also noticed my rhythm was a bit off, and I'm like, I don't want to take a chance and die in the pit, so I'm just going to take it a little safe.
Well, yeah, you definitely pulled it off smooth. I didn't know. I didn't even know.
Got my
Man.
favorite stage.
Oh yeah, this is a fun stage to navigate through quickly. This is Magma Dragoon stage, fire obviously, volcano and all that. You got lots of hills, different enemies. You got fireballs that come out of the ground. You got fireballs that rain from the sky. You got bats everywhere, mets everywhere. At least for this first part of the stage. And it's like everything dies relatively easily, but everything's also in your way. So the way you have to time all of your movements, some of your dashes might need to be ground dashes, which are technically slower than the typical dash jumps that you'll see through most of the run here. And there's a couple fireballs here. You kind of have to tank one, but like it's super quick though. It's really satisfying. That's I guess what the best way to describe these areas. The first half of this area too, it's just super satisfying to go through quickly, non-stop. Just oh yeah, right across the platforms, no problem. All right, now we're gonna start seeing some bigger mech dudes that want to slap the snot out of you. They hit kind of hard too. There's okay. DMQ is going to take it safe and use the ride armor here. Definitely a good call because I was going to say these guys they slap you pretty hard, and if you get hit by each one of them by the time you get to the boss chamber, you might not survive. But DMQ is of course going to hop out of the ride armor there because we use Buster on bosses. We don't deviate from that even though we're allowed. This game does have the unique option of using the ride armor against this boss, but where's where's the honor in that if you're going for Buster only? So we're gonna toss them big green lemons left and right and defeat Ryu here. I mean Magma Dragoon, who is literally employing like all of Ryu's moves. I don't even know all the names, but there you go. No big deal. Dodge them Hadoukens, and he's down.
Even though that wasn't very good RNG, that was still a fun fight.
That wasn't bad at all. And little lore thing here. Magma Dragoon used to be a hunter. Check it out. X doesn't celebrate before he teleports away here. He just teleports away. He defeated one of his comrades there, and he does not feel good about it. He celebrates every Maverick defeat, like, raising his arm in the air. Ka-ching! Not that one. Not that one. That's a sad moment. But it's okay because we're just going to go on and kill other Mavericks that we can celebrate the defeat of to make up for it. No big deal. We'll go fight Storm Eagle's cousin or brother or whatever, Storm Owl here. I know they're related in some kind of way. I can't remember the deep lore. There's too much for a game that has no story.
I mean, if you think about it, like he's well, as far as RNG goes, he's just as bad as Storm Owl or Storm Eagle.
Oh, absolutely. Storm Eagle, you got to worry about him diving too much. This one, you got to worry about him leaving the screen too much or grabbing you too much or whatever. Um, so this stage, the first part anyway, it's like it's incredibly free. You just go through. DMQ is just using this ride armor here just to go right on through everything. Already grabbed the heart. You guys might not have even seen it. It was under one of these Independence Day UFOs. But yeah, that section's just done already. We just speed right on through with that ride armor. No big
I'm about to
deal.
rename my split after that. Thanks.
Section 2 here, however, has these weird enemies. They charge up and they fire this massive laser. DMQ taking the deep boost to go across the spikes. Dangerous, but worth it. You can grab the spikes at the top. It's a wall instead of spikes for whatever reason. But anyway, these enemies, their laser is just absolutely huge. But a single little green shot that takes like not even half a second to charge up will destroy them. They're the weakest. They're the weakest thing ever. Like their beam is big for nothing. They're all show. DMQ trying to carefully time charge shots in order to get more full charges against this mid boss here when the eye is open. It can be a little bit tricky depending on the spawns that you get for the little guys around there, but that wasn't too bad. DMQ getting right through it and moving up to the final area. Another nice big health. Some of these levels are really generous with these big healths. But here we go. Warning! It's time for the owl. This owl is a jerk. I mean, we know birds are jerks. I'm sure all you guys in the audience are probably familiar with video games, so you probably know birds are jerks. But this bird is a big jerk. It's all about it's constantly flying off screen and you're trying to guess where it's going to come back in. And you're also trying not to get caught up in its projectiles, its talons, that it just fired, that green cyclone or whatever. I forget what they call it. I don't play with weapons. I don't know anything about them. But you're trying not to get caught up in so many different things and trying to dish out damage constantly the entire time, and it's nothing but pain, honestly, for the most part. Sometimes you get real lucky, but it's only sometimes. For the most part, you just take a bunch of damage and end up finishing this fight with less than half health at minimum. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Them tornadoes come out and there goes your health. Oops, but it's okay. You just take the damage and run in stride with it. DMQ taking care of this. That was actually not bad at all considering the RNG, and even though that's low health, that's decent health getting out of this fight.
Yeah, that's no kidding. Like he can really put some serious damage on you if you're not careful. And I was not very careful, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, a little bit reckless, but you had that. Now we're coming into Split Mushroom. I don't know why that's my favorite one that the announcer guy says when you go into the level, but this is an interesting, weird level that sort of gets repeated in the next game, but we won't see that, obviously. But yeah, you're just on a weird staircase. It's like straight up just the background. You're on an invisible platform and the background is scrolling, and that's kind of it's really weird. They just bombard you with enemies for a while until you find a teleporter. It's kind of like doing the first part of the intro stage all over again, more or less. It's just some little baby enemies, couple charge shots, a lot of jump dashes, teleporter. All right, now we're into the real first part of the stage here, which is some slightly dangerous platforming with some pits and whatnot, but nothing too serious. Now we've got the climb, as opposed to the elevator that's coming up in the next section. The climb here, not too bad. You can get up it relatively quick, relatively safely. A couple ladybug things drop down on you, but they're no big deal. They don't do much damage, so DMQ is just kind of deboosting off of them and going for ladder jumps. Unfortunately, missing the first one, throwing off the timing for the next one, but still, again, plenty of health here. No big deal. All we have left is this weird little mid-boss on the spikes, and this part of the stage is over, so we'll be back at full health here in just a minute. So DMQ is going to try to manipulate this thing a little bit. Going to keep it to the right here, get it to come up, blast it, let, ooh, excuse me, let the lemons fly after the charge shot just for that extra bit of damage because even though this game doesn't let you truly mash, the faster you can get the lemons out, you really dish some damage out. Like there you go. That was twice as fast as I probably just about ever killed that thing. Wow.
It's
Good
actually the
manipulation.
fastest you can do too is like 3 cycles.
Yeah, yeah, that was actually incredibly good. The mashing is weird in this game because it's more of a rhythm than it is a speed thing. Because you can go too fast and it'll just prevent you. So that was actually incredibly good. But here we go with that second section of staircases already over with, and moving into the destroying the destroying destructive. I don't know the platforms that go boom and fall.
Also a heart I skipped.
Yes, there was a heart back there, and normally I would go for it, but I'm not as good at this game as you are. I don't forego anything that I can grab. I don't think. Um, but I've seen you do this a number of times. I expect this is no big deal. You don't need that heart. But yeah, we're just gonna ride this elevator. The walls are covered in some kind of weird slime, so we can't really climb up the walls. But DMQ is still gonna try to get ahead of the elevator a little bit in just a few seconds here, because there are some blocks that can be climbed at least a little bit. First jump didn't go exactly according to plan, but still got a little bit ahead of it. Grab that health and go on up and fight Split Mushroom. An interesting, very interesting boss in my opinion, because this game is the only one I actually used to play with weapons at first. When I was playing at our friend's house when it came out, we never saw all of what Split Mushroom does. Like everybody knows he does this. He goes up into the air, he splits into two, and he starts running and jumping around. But he does some very different attacks while he's running and jumping around that normally you would prevent him from doing with the lightning web. But here we're going to see whatever it is he wants to do, which so far is actually being really nice. Now he's going to start both of them trying to drop on your head. They do a couple of other different weird things, and sometimes they get off sync, but they actually threw a really good pattern, probably because I was talking so much about how rough the boss can be sometimes. That's how it is. The games know when you're speedrunning, games know that the timer is on and they know what you're talking about, and they're not going to do that. So we didn't get to see the pattern, unfortunately. Commentary curse. All right, another weapon we're never going to use. All right, let's go. Here we go. Now it's time to face Colonel for the first time. Because remember, Colonel was upset with us earlier because we killed a dragon or whatever. I don't know. There's no story when you speedrun, so I don't know. But yeah, he's mad, so we're gonna fight him, and it's not gonna matter at all. And this whole segment is basically useless. It's almost preparing you for the real fight with him. But you're gonna see literally DMQ is just gonna walk up to him like he ain't no thing, and just let him slice right on through her. No big deal. Yeah, so this boss's attack is really strange. His sword itself has no hitbox. Bit of an oversight on the dev team's part. It's not meant to be a melee attack, and since the sword is so long, the projectile comes out of the end of the sword. So yeah, you're literally sitting between him and his projectiles where they're starting and just blasting. No, nothing really noteworthy here, to be honest. This is a very easy fight. He disappears, he reappears, he does this again. And you just go, pow, pow, until he's tired of it and wants to fight you later. Where the real fight is. The only real difference between this and the next fight is he's a little slower here, and he doesn't do his ground crush here, and he doesn't do his energy breaker here. That's about the only difference. You'll see a better fight when we get to see him again. I really don't even know why they threw that in for X's playthrough, but whatever. It's there. We do it. It's easy. It's fast. Let's go. Frost Walrus. Now,
Pretty much.
this is gonna be interesting here. There's a lot of reappearing, disappearing platforms in the area here, and DMQ is gonna try to get her movements just exactly right to get quickly through them and not have to wait on any cycles of anything here. Hopefully that's all gonna... Never mind, I cursed it. It's all me. It's okay. You can blame me. Things happen. This path is typically faster than going above, But sometimes things happen. You take a little extra damage. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not like a major slowdown or anything. It costs a few seconds, but I mean, certainly not worth resetting over even in like PB attempts. It's such a small thing there that just sometimes goes wrong, sometimes doesn't. Unfortunately, in this case, it went wrong, but that's okay. We're just going to drop down here. We got these rising ice platforms. If you're not careful, they can crush you at the top there. And wow, some incredible dodging on the way down there. DMQ just free falling. That was actually really good. I wish I could do that. All right, here we have one of the most annoying mid bosses almost ever. And that's exactly why right there. She shot him with the charge shot. He closed up. He's completely invulnerable when he does that. What you want is for him to stay open so you can mash him with lemons, but he's not usually that kind, so it is what it is, and we just deal with it. And once his health gets down, there's a good opportunity to dish out a lot more damage. DMQ getting kind of low in health here. I'm getting worried, but I think we're okay. Oh yeah, we're fine. Okay, whew, he did his little Starmie thing, and plenty of time to dish out damage. And yes, Chill Penguin was totally just chilling out there. And at the beginning of the stage, Blizzard Buffalo was sitting there as well. For anybody who may
Oops,
not be familiar with this game or previous games,
messed that up.
they're old Mavericks from X1 and X3 respectively. Um, so here we go through Frost Walrus Stage 2. A lot of ice blocks everywhere, and they planted bombs in some of the ice blocks. And the bombs will hurt you. The bombs will also blow up the blocks above and below them. It's not really a puzzle per se, but I mean it's a bit of one to try to figure out exactly which ones to shoot exactly when in order to get yourself through the smoothest. But DMQ's right through that and going right through these birds, and you notice them keep stopping here and charging something up. They're gonna freeze the area if you allow them to, which isn't really dangerous per se, but it is a time waste because they freeze the whole game. The screen goes white, the screen comes back, and everything's frozen over, and then you can move again. So you lose those seconds if you let them do that. But DMQ didn't let them get a single one of those off. No problem. Now we have the boss, the big bad walrus with those massive ice crystals and those gigantic fists with those huge spikes on them. But don't worry, he doesn't do anything with those fists besides hit them against each other. You're fine. The one weapon that could kill Mega Man instantly, spikes. He has it. He doesn't use it. Not once. It's fine. He's just going to slide around the arena. He's going to shoot some ice crystals around. That's about it. A single charge shot will destroy all of those that linger on the ground, no problem. DMQ deboosting to get behind him for a little extra opportunity of attack to wrap this fight up neatly. Very well done.
You know, it's good RNG at the end because he'll either do what he just did or he'll do something else that makes it harder for him, harder to like damage him because he's got something invulnerable that he's forming in front of him.
Exactly. And I believe that is the Frost Tower attack itself that he does there, but we didn't even see it at all, so that was great. He had no chance. All right, here we go. Web Spider heading out to the jungle. This is probably my favorite stage aesthetically, I think. The ambient sounds, the water flowing everywhere. It's just the greenery everywhere. I love my nature. I'm sorry, even if it's robot nature. This level is just beautiful. Starts off with a nice rainbow in the background, some little fish enemies that hop out at you, some bigger fishmen, and some little wall walker guys as well. There's a capsule to the right that would have the boots, and it used to be believed once upon a time that you actually needed the boots in order to complete this game, but turns out you don't. So we're not going to grab them, and it's not just to save time, it's also because they're really annoying. The hover boots, they're too easy to activate on accident. We'll just leave it at that for now. But we're not getting them, so we're not going to worry about them too much. We're just going to climb right on up here, take a little bit of damage on the way, and move right on through to Area 2 by smashing this door here. Boom, no problem. DMQ ignoring every enemy, just jumping under or over everything on the way, and just no problem, no time for them guys. We're trying to PB or something here.
Whoops.
All right.
No big.
Making our way through. We got the big old beehives here. They can be destroyed with a charge shot, and well placed enough charge shot can actually destroy both of those last two beehives and enough bees to go straight through. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, but it's not. Like most things, it's not a major time loss to fail it. Everything in these games is like really small optimizations. Like there's a general pace at which pretty much everyone gets through the stages, and then there's like these really small optimizations everywhere. DMQ making sure to deboost off of that B there instead of the electricity before the door. The B deals a little bit less damage. That's the main reason why. So you just retain those iframes and go right on through. Now we're going to see the web spider fight. This guy likes to crawl off screen a lot for the first third of the fight. I say third. It's. I'm not sure exactly when he goes into his desperation phase, but it's earlier than most. His health bar is usually not even yellow when he does it, but you can hit him while he's off screen for this first part of the fight. So as long as you're avoiding these spider webs, you're doing good. And if you can happen to have your charge shot ready when he's off screen, you just jump up off screen a little bit and fire, and you'll hit him. It's something I actually didn't know about for years, and it's so incredibly easy. Makes this fight really fast. Looks like we might actually, yeah, we're into the yellow for once, and seeing him doing his desperation here. This is actually good. I should keep talking about things the way I've been, so that they keep going the way that they are. This is really good. You know, the games love to spite what I say. So, you know, I'm just gonna talk about all the worst case scenarios. So this fight's no big deal. It's a little bit of a reminder of the spider boss from X1 in Sigma Stage 1. If anybody's familiar with that boss likes to throw spider babies at you. This one does as well, and that's like kind of a callback there. But otherwise, he still remains doing the same attacks as you saw, just the same old lightning web thing over and over. Blah blah. Easy boss. Let's go next. So now we're going to move into cyberspace to go after Cyber Peacock. This is a fun stage. This stage is like built around the idea of speedrunning, honestly. They put you on a timer multiple times in the I believe second portion of this stage. Wow, it's been that long since I played this stage. No, it's the first portion.
Yeah, it's the first portion.
Yeah, I'm getting them mixed up for some reason. The brain does the dumb sometimes. Yeah, so this first portion here, right here, it says hurry up. It's like literally trying to encourage you to speedrun. It wants you to go as fast as you can. And the faster you go, the better off you are in some senses. You go to a different room for getting rank S, but you want rank S anyway. You're gonna get that heart there. You're gonna get a sub tank in I think the next one, and then the final one, you can get the helmet. And while we don't want to grab the helmet, we found that it's actually still faster to get the S rank for the helmet and just bypass the helmet. But there you go. So that second segment, no big deal. You want to avoid these lemons. They'll grab you and they'll stop you for a few seconds, and you kind of have to like rigorously press every direction on the D-pad to try to break out. It's really annoying. You don't want that at all. DMQ is just gonna dash under some of these dudes that are teleporting in. Climb on up here carefully, and okay, made it over the last one. Dash under that one. Deboosting to get through the pair. Excellent, excellent, excellent. This is what we want to see here. This is good stuff. So we got the rank S again, and unfortunately we're going to be forced to deal with the dialogue from Dr. Light's hologram here. But we don't want or need that helmet, so we're literally just going to jump right over that capsule and keep it moving into Area 2 here. Area 2 is totally different. They're not going to time us at all, but they are going to still slow us down with things. Not those lemon things, but rather a weird little puzzle type thing. It's not, I call it a puzzle. I use the term very loosely, but you can see DMQ's pressing these buttons on the floor, and the level's kind of like topsy-turvy, flipping over, you know? You just have to use that to get certain things moving. DMQ skipping one to save time there. You got to get these balls rolling, basically, is what it is. Well, that one in particular is the main important one, but yeah, that's about it. That stage was that was too fast. I couldn't even mention half of what happened there. Too fast. Slow it down. No, I'm kidding. Don't. You're doing good. Don't.
Thanks. I would also like to mention that, like, you notice me dashing through the first door instead of like jump dashing through it. I'll actually explain in a moment.
Sure. In the meantime, I'll talk about this boss here. So Cyber Peacock it rules over cyberspace. It's appearing and disappearing at will, and we're trying to use that to our advantage here. You see DMQ getting two hits in when Peacock does the thing where it kneels down and extends its needles. You get just that extra second there to get that second green shot in. That's kind of ideal to get it to spawn there, which you, she is manipulating it based on her position. It's a little precise. Sometimes you miss it, but pretty good. Right now, dodging these arrows, which is like nothing with this much health. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, just a couple
Nice.
charge shots and easy boss. So yeah, you wanted to explain something about that door?
Yeah, the first door, at least for the most part, I try to ground dash through instead of jump dashing through because like if you're not on the ground going through that door, you're not going to be able to move until like you touch the ground again. So me dashing ground dashing through the first door anyway instead of jump dashing through, saving some frames, especially when the first door is elevated versus like what the ground is going to be like on the next area before you reach the second door to the boss. I haven't really timed it yet, but I feel like that's really a thing.
I'm not sure. I haven't noticed or messed with it at all, to be honest. That's an
Oops.
interesting thing. I'll have to look into that later. Um, but here we are in Slash Beast stage, which for some reason is a train, but thankfully is not an auto scroller. Even though the background is automatically scrolling, that's okay. We don't worry about that. Lot of Mega Man players I've noticed tend to hate auto scrollers, which is understandable because they're just well, especially in a speedrunning sense, they're just not ideal. And they always take the same amount of time, and there's very little you can ever do, if anything, to speed it up. But we're not running into that. We're just dash jumping across, breaking some guns, jumping over some others, and trying to get to this mid boss here, which I believe is at this train. This guy keeps coming out and throwing grenades to drop the connectors between the cars there, but X can dash jump, so no big deal. So now we've got this mid boss that comes up from behind, and DMQ's pretty much just gonna mash it down. No big deal. Mostly lemons. A couple charge shots, mostly lemons. You just get up close. For whatever reason, the pistons that those spikes are attached to just don't have hitboxes, so we just don't worry about that. We just go over there and break the bottom one and stand there and make it look stupid. Now we're at part two. We're inside the tunnel here, still moving along the train. Despite their efforts, they have not stopped X from traversing forward on the train. DMQ going to take a little bit of safety here with this ride armor. Just gonna kind of hop through and preserve health, just for safety. Also grabbing that heart, probably not for safety, but it's there. It's in the way. Why not? Like they literally. The only way they could try any harder to make you take that heart would be by literally pausing the gameplay and having an enemy come out and shove it down X's throat. That's about the only way. Like you might as well grab that one. So yeah, we just have a short little section here coming through the tunnel, and we're actually going to get right back on the next train. For whatever reason, they were decoupled. I have no idea why. Probably more enemies just throwing grenades like dum-dums, because, I mean, despite the fact that it's the year 21XX, programming is still quite the challenge.
Is a little bit.
So here comes Slash Beast outrunning this train. Makes you wonder why he rides trains at all when he runs faster than them. But here he is, now slowed down immensely, probably tired from catching up to the train. So he's going to throw a couple of attacks in retaliation mostly. There it is. He does like this backflip and does this double, I don't know what it is, but he does some kind of thing there. You see it. It's the double green thing. But it's really easy to just dash right under it. That's one of the greatest things about the X series is when X is dashing, he does bend forward to do it, and his hitbox height shrinks in half. So there's a lot of attacks you can go right under like that, and that was exploited heavily to get through this fight with ease. Almost no damage taken, no problems here. These Mavericks are pushovers for the most part. So now we've done the 8 Mavericks. We're getting ready to head on to Final Weapon, I believe, or maybe there's a stage before they call it that. It's weird. It's weird how this one works. Ah, yes, Double, our friend who would totally never betray us. I trust Double with my life. Anyway, here we go. We're going to the spaceport. That's what it was. I was thinking final weapon. It's not yet. That's after the spaceport. So we gotta go to the spaceport and try to stop the Colonel. He's gonna do something, but I don't know. We beat him last time, but we let him live for whatever reason. We're not gonna make that mistake this time. We're gonna go fight Colonel, and we're gonna go fight him for real. And we're just gonna go straight through this level, right up this climb, kill a bunch of these little basic enemies here. There's so many of them, but they're super duper basic. These spinning wheels, like a green shot will penetrate through and kill multiple. Like they're literally just there to try to be a pain. I feel like, but anyway, here we are, ready for the Colonel fight. And like I said before, he's gonna be a little faster here, just a little bit, and he's going to try to trip you up a little bit more by disappearing a little more often sometimes. And he has access to, I believe, 2 additional moves, but you still want him to do the same one, and he still starts with that same one. And as you can see, he's slightly faster about it, but only slightly. He's really still nothing. Here comes that energy breaker I was talking about. It goes across the ground, you jump over it, you get between it, no big deal. Lather, rinse, repeat, unless and until he goes for a ground crush, which you'll have to dodge a little bit differently, but it's actually kind of a rare attack, to be honest. I don't even expect to see it usually, and I'm saying that in hopes that the game will just, spite me and he'll do it. No offense, DOQ, but you got the health for this, so there it is, ground crush. See, I manipulated him. I'm good at this. I know how these games work.
The only time I
And
can't do the look away because it forces you to look at the dude.
yeah, it does, because you have to talk to him. Yep, I think it's the same with Dragoon. Yep, because you have to talk to him.
No, you can do the look away with
Or
Dragoon.
can you really? I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, you still eventually have to look at him, but like I don't mean like right away.
All right, here we go. X rushing 2, final weapon. This is this game does these final stages a little differently than I'm used to with some of the other games. Because it's usually like you just go to Sigma 1, Sigma 2, Sigma 3. No, you go to Spaceport, you go to final weapon, you go to final weapon, you go to final weapon, and then the game's over. Ah, there he is. There's our buddy Double. He's so pleasantly plump. He would never do anything to anyone. I'm sure of it. He would never betray us. Like, I can't even imagine him doing that. Oh my God, what is this?
Ooh.
So here we have a fight with a friend that we like hardly even knew. As honestly, where did Double even come from? But this guy, for the most part, he just does this evil slash thing where he just kind of jumps to the ceiling, jumps to the floor, jumps sort of at you, rather lazily too, I might add. He's pretty easy. Every now and then he'll say destroy and throw one of these blue things at you, and you can't shoot through them, and they will mess you up if you let them. But you kind of have to let them. And where he throws them is basically your position at the time that he begins throwing. So that makes it really easy to know both where it's going and where not to be. You can see DMQ is really easily just going right around those things, avoiding all of his evil slashes. And this boss is he's one of those ones that he's designed to intimidate you, but he's actually really simple. No big deal. Nothing's much of a big deal in this game, to be honest. In fact, the next boss we're gonna fight is even less so. It's laughable, I dare say. But let's go through the stage first. So there's a little bit of a deviation in path in this stage. We take the lower paths because we can't really do the uppers. The upper path requires a use of lightning web, I believe. This right here, this is the jump that used to cause people to believe that you needed the boots. Turns out you don't, because DMQ did it without the boots. Oh, ooh, taking a rough hit there with some huge knockback, almost going into the pit, but DMQ recovers, climbs up, and grabs the big health. Thankfully, they're really generous with those big healths in this game. I love that. Um, but anyway, yeah, that was literally just a couple pits, some big enemies, and here we are. Speaking of big enemies, look at this guy. We got General. We killed Colonel. Now we got to fight General. General is big, General is angry, and General's going to do everything in his power to stop X here. However, General's power, while it may be great, so is his size. So he can only do so much with that power. He's going to kind of like rocket around the screen a little bit. He's going to throw his fists, maybe. There we go. Now he's doing that. He's got these little bubble things that come at you. They're generally useless. They're much like the destroy from that double has, where they're aimed at you and slowly traverse to where you were at the time they were fired. But DMQ is literally just gonna stay over here on this wall and keep firing at General's head, because even though it's off screen, it's just close enough that you can keep hitting it. And it's equally interesting if he comes over to this side, which he can. You can still just stay on this wall and just keep shooting him, because his actual hitbox is so much smaller than his sprite, which is a result of the graphic style that they chose for the PS1. There you go. He actually came over to prove what I was saying there for the last hit. It has to do with the PS1's graphic style, though. Everything's at this weird perspective where it wouldn't actually make sense if every edge of the sprite dealt damage to you, so you can actually kind of like move in things a little bit. And unfortunately for the developers, that means that there's plenty of things for us to exploit and get through these games even faster.
Now, I also like to mention that, like, if I was Zero, that would have been the perfect RNG, but since I'm not Zero, and even more so that I'm playing this Buster only, that was actually very horrible RNG.
Yeah, it wasn't a very nice fight. Even still, it's a relatively easy fight. It's just certain RNG will definitely get you through it faster than others. But at any rate, here we're ready for the refights. Here we're gonna go kill all the Mavericks we already killed. And for those of you that remember what we were talking about with Dragoon earlier, I believe it's this. There's a repeat of that here. Don't quote me on it. I forget how refights work on this part. I think there's a repeat of that though, where X celebrates the others but doesn't celebrate this one. I could be mistaken. I really don't remember very well the refights.
No, he doesn't celebrate at all. He just he just GTFOs.
Okay. Well, I know for sure that that's a detail in the original Dragoon fight. I at least was right about that. I knew
Yeah,
something.
that was definitely same with the X. I mean Zero.
Yeah, neither one is happy to have to kill him. The Zero will do the same thing. Zero normally is like thumbs up, ka-ching, and then teleports out, but not for the Dragoon fight. All right, Storm Owl again, and interesting to note that the bosses are, while not aesthetically in their original environment, the physical layout is always the same. Whether it's walls or in this case a platform up top, or Dragoon had the fire, I mean lava. You know, it's like so exact that it's kind of nice, because a lot of the other Mega Man and X games, there may be differences between the regular fight and the refight with some bosses, but in here you don't get any of that. It's all the same thing every time, which is really nice. You can just practice either one and get better at both, instead of having to memorize two ways to fight one boss. So you gotta have 16 strats for 8 bosses. Not in this game. Nice and easy peasy, same old thing.
Oops.
And it's worth noting that there is a health drop up at the top of this teleporter area in between fights. You can always go up and grab it if you need to. Um, in the speed run here, obviously you wouldn't usually, but if you're worried about sub tanks or something, and for some reason they're still not full, you could exploit. Well, it's not even an exploit, but you could utilize that, I guess, to your advantage to get them topped off a little bit, in addition to filling up your health bar, which is why I keep mentioning that all health drops contribute to your sub tanks in this game, because it's just such a helpful and unique thing to the PS1 games. Walrus doing his same old, same old. Oh, here we go, using his frost tower finally. He's invulnerable while doing that, but it's a short period. It's not that big of a deal.
Actually, you can still get behind him and blast him. I just chose not to, just to preserve my health.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. He's invulnerable in front. I should have specified. He's invulnerable in front, which is why DMQ went behind him on the first fight to avoid that. And I don't remember these teleporters all that well. Is this split mushroom?
No, that would be the next fight since I didn't go for the health.
Okay. So this is Peacock then. No, this is Beast slash Beast. See, what do I know about this game? I've only played it since it came out. I don't know anything about it. So yeah, slash Beast. It's again, gonna be more of the same. Um, honestly, if there are any donations to read off during these refights, it'd probably be the best time for it because it's literally a repeat, if not no big deal.
Well, unfortunately, we do not have any new ones right now.
Not a problem. I just wanted to
With
make
that
sure I
said,
offered you the chance.
I do appreciate that. With that said, feel free to start getting them in, guys. We have all kinds of amazing incentives to put them towards.
Now
I'll also
this
like
one. Oh, go
I
ahead.
also like to mention that like on for some reason on the PS2 or GameCube X collection, Slash Beast I think has a glitch where like he will just keep roaring at you. You won't see it on the original disc or maybe the Legacy collection, but for that collection, at least to my experience, it's a thing.
That's interesting. That's kind of like in X1, Flame Mammoth singing the song of his people. Sometimes you can get him doing his little roar on the conveyor belt, and it's like if you stand close enough to him, he'll just keep doing it. Split mushroom, giving a little bit more of a hassle than last time there with some varied attacks between the two. Shall we say spores? I don't know what else to really call them. There's two of them. I think DMQ is going to go for a little bit of health this time. Oh yeah, good call. Good call. Take the top teleporter. And who is it? It's a guessing game for me. Oh, it's Spider. Web Spider. There we go. All right. So this is
Normally I would do Spider last, but because of circumstances.
yeah. When you're forced to go up and get that health, you might as well go right in there. That's the only way to make up the time for having to do it in the first place, I guess. So that makes perfect sense to me. But yet again, another perfect repeat of the same old fight. Throwing some lightning web. Pretty soon here, going to be doing the desperation phase. Actually, right now it could trigger. There it is. So he's totally invulnerable until he starts moving in these webs. But there you go. Now it's just instead of going off screen, he moves around within the area of those webs. That little diamond there. He throws some babies around. I don't know why he throws babies around, but he does, and he tries to throw the web again until he dies. No big deal. Simple boss. A lot of people generally do that boss either first or second, at least in casual playthroughs. I don't know like any percent or 100% routes or anything like that for other speed runs, but I do know that when I was playing casually, Web Spider was always my first because he's just so easy. Now we got Cyber Peacock. I'm gonna be trying to manipulate where it appears at. That was a good spot, but didn't quite get the second hit in. It's already doing the missiles. Oh, wow. This is very early missiles. I always find that every other missile is like impossible to dodge. They're not literally impossible, and there's definitely consistent ways of doing it, but it just feels harder. All right, now we're back to manipulating position. Oh, never mind. No, we're not. We're back to missiles. These missiles literally just track you in. I think they have like 16 directions of movement, like the basic 8 directions, but with directions in between the 8 for a little bit of smoother travel, I guess.
Something like that.
Grab that health again since it's right there. Might as well. And who's left? Who did we not face?
Stingray.
Stingray. Yeah. He did. He was so long ago. I forgot about it because we did him first. Yeah. All right. Here comes Stingray rising up out of the ground. Going to be more of the same. He's gonna go up on the side. He's gonna rush down and back up the other end. He's gonna try to shoot little Stingray babies that will build up in the bottom if they're not destroyed. So DMQ's gonna carefully place those charge shots since you do have enough time to fully charge in between and still take them all out. If he begins his desperation, which he probably will after this cycle here if he's alive, he'll try to shoot slightly faster purple stingrays, but it's literally the same strategy, and they literally die just as easy. DMQ getting to the top of the screen just to get that last shot off as soon as possible. Nails it, and moving on. Alright, that's it for refights. We're ready to go and face Sigma. Now, Zero gets a nice, awesome cutscene here. X just kind of gets yelled at and then gets a loading screen. X really just kind of got the short straw here. He has to fight Colonel twice. He doesn't get any fancy cutscenes. Just gets a couple regular ones. And here you'll notice DMQ has switched to Rising Fire. This is the one exception to Buster Only in this run. This phase of the boss cannot be harmed by any other weapon. So since there's literally no way to pass without using Rising Fire, you're of course forced to use Rising Fire. But as soon as this phase ends, DMQ is going to swap back to the Buster, and everything else will be done with the Buster. This does not invalidate the run or anything. This is literally just an exception. That's just kind of how Buster Only works, is you only use the Buster until something arises that prevents you from progressing with the Buster. Then it's an exception. It's the only way through. What can you do? So here we are. He disappears, he reappears, he gets set on fire, and that's about it. That's that phase of the fight. Now we're ready for phase 2. I'm sorry, round 2. We got Sigma out here with his crazy scythe that is actually pretty cool. I like his scythe and the way that the energy comes out of it. But we're gonna manipulate him into throwing it into the wall so that the electricity that comes out of it stays over there, and we're nice and safe. And he'll jump back and do laser eyes, and it's just a lather, rinse, repeat. He throws that in a circle. He's gonna throw it into the wall again because DMQ was on the wall. And laser eyes, charge shots to the back of the head because we exploit hitboxes like crazy in the PS1 games. And that's it for phase 2. Phase 3 is coming up, and just a reminder to whoever's running the timer, time does not actually stop when this boss dies. And it is a boss with 2 health bars, in fact, but it does not stop when the boss dies. It stops in the next room when DMQ loses control. We'll let you know. But anywho, so we've got this Gunner Sigma here, who's only vulnerable in the head, and then we've got these different elemental head things that come out and mess with you in between cycles. And basically, Gunner Sigma and this Junkhead Sigma are gonna exchange places back and forth, and in between each of them, we're going to get attacked again by these stupid heads that are, for the most part, really easy to dodge, especially the red and the blue. The yellow one, not as much, but even that, once you get a little comfortable with it, it's not too bad. So Gunner Sigma, he's going to do one of two things. This is actually what we want to see. He's going to keep raising and lowering the gun and just firing in different positions wherever he thinks X is at a given moment, but he's really stupid and doesn't adjust. Gunner Sigma usually goes down first, well before Junkhead Sigma, who is just a pain, an RNG pain. This is the pattern we want from Junkhead Sigma. We want those spikes on the wall. We want it to use that wind attack. The other thing it can do is it can use like kind of a suck attack where it brings X in and it'll either bite him or throw a bunch of rocks at him. It gets wild. You'll hopefully not see it, but you'll know what I mean immediately when you see it, because there's like no opportunity to attack the Junkhead Sigma when it does that. DMQ is just dancing with Gunner Sigma here, who is behaving very nicely. He's going to die next time he comes out, unless, of course, he gives us the end, which is just the worst thing that we can get. But, up here we go. Junkhead being rude like I was talking about, spewing stuff everywhere. DMQ's not going to take it safe, just going to try to bombard right on through and deal a little bit of damage, taking damage in turn for it, but there are sub-tanks, so I don't think DMQ's too concerned about that, especially with Gunner Sigma about to die here. He hit us with the end, but the last green shot came in and got him. Gunner Sigma is no more. It's just going to be Junkhead Sigma and then those other heads in between. So this should start speeding up a little bit. DMQ's going to take this cycle a little bit safer here, clinging to the right wall, avoiding those rocks. Here we got the blue head doing the most useless thing I've just about ever seen. And Junkhead Sigma's going to come right back out, doing the bad. DMQ's trying to blast through that blue head and deal a little bit of damage. Got 2 shots in, going to take a sub-tank. Opting for the full sub tank. Got one that's not quite full, but it'll suffice, I'm sure. I've got the yellow head thing again, shooting its electricity. Junkhead's back. Oh no, Junkhead's being really rude too. DMQ's getting a little greedy on the damage, but it might pay off. There is still that sub tank. We're not too worried. Got most of a bar of health. This is good. This is good. Ooh, caught by one of the electric balls though. That might have an impact on decisions coming up here. But we got the good pattern, so no big deal. We're getting 3, maybe 4 shots off on this boss. That's what we really want. Is we really want them spikes to come out on that right wall when Junkhead Sigma comes in. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get that damage in. Firehead coming out. 4 waves of fire based on your height. So just manipulate that, go over and under and whatever. No big deal. And spikes again. Wow. This is a very generous Junkhead Sigma here. 1 health left though. What will it be? What will it give us? Will it be nice? Will it be nice and let us finish on the right side of the screen? Yeah. Well, in the middle, I mean. Because Gunnerhead reappears to taunt you a little bit. You want to be in the middle or near... Yeah, there. You want to be in that position. Alright, time is coming up in the next room. There's basically 2 little platforms to jump up, and that's it. When DMQ's on the highest platform, that's time. The only reason is you don't lose control until right there. Boom, done. GG.
I'm only a minute and 16 behind my world record. That's actually a pretty good run.
That was not bad at all. Not bad at all. I was taking notes during that.
The thing I wanna mention about the sub tanks. When you first start out, yeah, those sub tanks are definitely can be used for safety. But when you're going for really good times and you face the final boss, those sub tanks instead become from safety to optimal because like you want to compensate with the bad RNG of Junkhead Sigma with when he tries to suck you in and like you want to compensate for that and try to like get in a little extra damage just to save a little time.
You've earned it. But Zero, what if I become one of the Mavericks?
Thank you for the GG, everybody.
Contact now. Wait, Zero! I'm serious. Zero, if I become a Maverick, you have to take care of me. Don't be ridiculous. Now hurry on back. Promise me, Zero.
Yeah, so that right there, that's kind of what I meant about X doesn't get like any kind of good story stuff going on. Like his ending is literally that he's afraid he'll turn into a Maverick, even though he's immune to the virus. Wow. Deep.
That was very fun.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks for inviting me to come and do this. This was great.
There's no problem. I'm glad you were taking notes.
Definitely was. I'm not as good at the PS1 games.
I also wouldn't be surprised if you caught some things I haven't caught since I started really grinding this game.
There's a couple small things I go for that I noticed you don't. Real small stuff, but it's there.
Well, excellent run. I still can't get over that Buster only final Sigma. That just blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it took some... We didn't find out that you can put in an extra 4th shot on the good RNG with Jughead Sigma until like maybe some months after I started taking it seriously.
How many cycles does that cut out of the fight?
If that's what he keeps giving you, it might cut out 3. I
That
might
sounds
have to do
about
some
right.
science about that.
That sounds about right. Because you're getting that extra shot in each time. Yeah, that sounds about right. That Junkhead Sigma is ridiculous. Like, it's the same health bar, but it goes down so slow compared to the Gunner Sigma.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and doing this run. This was a lot of fun to watch.
It was my pleasure. Matter of fact, it was my honor. And by the way, shout outs to Kong. I didn't get to do that earlier before I started the run. Shout outs to Kong for a very incredible Mega Man 6 run.
We're about to see him again in a few minutes here, too. Coming on from Mega Man ZX.
Well, that's definitely a fun run. Y'all gonna be in for a treat.
Well, thank you, BSB, for having us here. Appreciate it. Shout outs to all you guys working hard in the background to make this all happen.
That's a
Appreciate it.
pleasure. It's
Well,
a
thank you so
labor of
much.
love.
I also would like to note that I'm also an Ohio native.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we will see you at the next in-person marathon then.
I'm looking forward to it. Until then, you guys are doing a really good job. Keep doing what you're doing. And good luck to the runners after me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.